pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, as the symbol of perfect friendships among united cultures.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Primrose?
Yes, here.
Ms. Stevenson? Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Here.
And Mr. Sandoval?
All right, next is approval of our agenda. Is there any additions or deletions of the agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Primrose?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
And Mr. Box?
Yes.
All right, was there any comments, requests for comment?
No.
All right, next is approval of the minutes of our October 21st meeting. Has everybody had a chance to review those minutes? Is there any additions or deletions? Now I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for October 21st.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
And Mr. Primrose?
Yes. Next, under my report, the only thing I wanted to bring up is what was the meeting? Was it Espanola? It was the New Mexico Eastern Education.
HERC, something region, Higher Education Regents Consortium or something like that.
They talked about Senate Bill 13. I think that's the one where they're going to require the trustees and regents of colleges to have 10 hours of training. They mentioned that at that meeting, and they're hoping to have that done by December 21st, and it would require all of us to have 10 hours of training, which they're going to provide, but they don't have that. So it would. Said, well, you wouldn't have to go through it, but
I think you have to have more than a year left.
right. And the newly elected trustees, but hopefully they'll let us know so we can start that. But we have to have by the 21st. So they don't. Currently, they don't.
Would
have,
it be provided here, or do we need to go someplace? Or something like in the public schools, they have like regional type things, where they would have to go.
I don't think they have any specifics.
I think it's supposed to be like modules online where, and I can't remember, they talked about a portal that's like something else that we submit, that it would just be submitted through that. So I think that's the way it's supposed to be, not that they would hold a
Physical.
physical
Class.
meeting.
Anyway, that's just something that we'll be having in the future, in the near future, I guess. With the holidays and everything, I just don't see how they're going to do it. But it specifically says in this the bill that the HED will have that done by the end of December of this year.
Is that an annual requirement or what?
I think It's gonna be an annual
10
requirement.
hours.
And some of, I know, some of the other colleges, I had voiced, you know, couldn't we just use like ACCT training, you know, instead of HED building its own? And I know like San Juan, Santa Fe, CNM are all working to try to get that done, but right now HED says, no, we're gonna do it, and that's what the law says, that HED
Right.
would create it, but it's kind of recreating something that's already out there to some extent, so
Right.
that might change how it goes in the future.
Right, that's all I had. Next will be the President's report, Dr. Moss.
So y'all have my report, just kind of touch on a few things. HLC, Dr. Edwards and I will be going a week from this coming Tuesday, to meet with the IAC committee. We don't expect any issues to come from that. We submitted some updated information, our 24 audit. Dr. Edwards has already put together some of our plan to meet the monitoring items. And I wrote a letter on some things that have happened since then, and so we feel like that should only help our case. But if we get any feedback from them or when we get their report, we'll pass that on to you all. Couple things coming up. Don't forget, December 16th, we'll have that legislative forum here at noon. It'll be in the Great Room. That will be the Eastern Plains Council of Governments. That should be an easy date to remember, because at 3 o'clock that day, we have a regular board meeting. So, you know, feel free to come by. I think there will be lunch or some food available too. So, last I heard, Senator Campos, Senator Woods, and Representative Chatfield should all be here for it. This January 21st is Quay Day. So anybody that would like to go to that. If you haven't already, let Kylie know. I'm kind of open. We can go up the night before or that morning. Either way works. And then December 1st is the kind of legislative education group meeting down in Portales. So keep that on your calendars. And another date, December 11th, we're having an administrative breakfast, which is where the administrators are going to cook breakfast for the faculty and staff, and their families are welcome. And I would also invite you all, if you want to come. I don't remember exactly what time that starts. Is it 7, 8?
8:30.
8:30. So if you trust us cooking, just be sure and show up for that. Let's see.
What day was that?
December 11th. It should be the Thursday.
Right.
I think that's a couple of the things. Handbooks, faculty and staff met with Dr. Hungerbuehler and Dean Garcia last week. And so everybody should be looking at the personnel handbooks and the administrative handbooks. And if they see changes for the personnel handbook, they need to get those to Tammy Hall or in HR, or Mr. Martinez for the administrative handbook. One of the things we may look at before next year's handbook is donated leave. So we can't find a policy anywhere that says anything about donated leave, but evidently that was passed into law several years ago. And so we have to have a policy on it. so we're looking at different colleges. I think I got one from Mark from the city of Tucumcari. And so we're gonna try to put something together, and I think the law basically says, you have to have a certain process where a person can donate to a specific person. It doesn't say anything, I don't think, about a pool. So we're gonna try to get that worked out, and we may bring that to you all. It'll probably be January or so before we can get that done. I think that's all I can think of right now.
Any questions for Dr. Moss?
That was a real interesting video that you sent out. Thought that was really well done.
I guess that was, well, it was a student at CNM, and Dr. Hartzler sent that, and I just thought that was pretty, it was neat to me, and I didn't grow up in Tucumcari, but for everybody that did, I think it would be even more interesting.
Yeah, it was really great. Now, we'll move on to the financial report.
Let me pull that up real quick. So, couple parts to that. Again, our cash balance is holding pretty steady. They're around 3 to 3.4 million. There are a couple things. I know we ran into some issues drawing down financial aid. Ms. Arias, I think, submitted that twice, and it kept coming back. I'm assuming due to the shutdown, and so she was able to submit it, I think, Thursday or Friday. So that's another 300 and some thousand that we already paid out to students, but then we get reimbursed from the federal government. So we're looking for that. Back on the kind of, I call it I guess it's a budget to actual sheet. We're running, this is for up to a third of the year, 33% of it, 4 months. We're ahead on our revenues, around 41%. Expenses, we're running around 30. I'm showing 35%, so we're just maybe a little off on that. The other thing to keep in mind, I think there are some numbers that may not have been posted when this information was pulled, because if you look, like the one that ending October versus the one ending in September, it shows we only had revenue of about 100,000. Well, our appropriation alone is 450,000 or so each month. So I'm gonna have to follow up and make sure those numbers are accurate. But when you look at each month, it shows consistently that we're doing well. And I think that kind of goes back. We had an EFOP visit a couple weeks ago, and one of the things Scott Eccles emphasized was we need to get our reserves up. Well, coming from below zero, we are getting them up, but it's not going to happen overnight. And he sent some ideas that we'll work on to try to help move that faster. And just like the thing that Mr. Box brought up from the trustees quarterly, that was an innovative way to get some more funds in there to build those negative fund balances up. So we're going to keep working on that and making sure we're getting all the money that we should be getting. Other than that, if y'all have any questions, I will try to answer them.
Well, I did go back and put that in my spreadsheet and do it right. So look at the percentages and you're exactly right.
Yeah. Be sure when you look at the first two columns on that budget to actual, the second column is year to date budget. That's not our full year budget. So we're close on the amount, but that doesn't mean we've spent 90-some% of our budget for the year already.
Yeah. It looks good. Any other questions on on the financial report? So our cash stood and our percent of budget, so if there's not any other questions, entertain a motion to approve the financial report.
I make a motion to approve the financial report.
A motion and a second, roll call, to approve the financial?
Mr. Primrose?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes,
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Next on the agenda is moving the funds from Wells Fargo to CD.
So, Mr. Chair, members of the board, we talked about this in our finance committee last week, and one thing that came up after I created this is we're working on getting a Square machine, which is a way to take credit cards, in the business office. Right now, we use Square in the fitness center, we use Square in the bookstore, and we use Square at the Dinosaur Museum. But in the business office, we still have a Wells Fargo credit card machine. And so that money, every time we use it, it goes into that account. We don't use that money for anything, it just sits there. So they're having problems with that machine and are looking, and I think they're waiting on a Square terminal to come in for the business office. So the reason I say that is, right now, well, this statement, the last one we had, it had 208,000 in that account. The last EFOP we got, it was up to 209 or so. I wanted to get that moved. We can still move, 208 or 209,000, or we can wait until we get that machine in, and then we can move whatever's in that account and then close that account. Does that make sense, what I'm saying? So we just talked about that, like I said, last Wednesday, and so still there. And I sent you all the information on the CDs. I think the rates are all comparable. If you look up the state rate right now, it's around 3.4, 3.5, 3.7, somewhere in there. Of course, you get different answers from each of the banks, but they're all fairly comparable between those three.
Since when we don't have that credit card machine in the finance department, we can go to Square, then the money that we have in the Wells Fargo, that's the only reason we have it. So, I think if it's okay, I would think we could just, once we get the Square in the finance department, we could go ahead and close the Wells Fargo and move it to a CD. I think that we talked about it in the finance committee. I think that would be just to eliminate a bank that we use them for one machine anyway. Plus, we don't have to pay for we wouldn't have to pay for the equipment.
Correct. We just pay for the new terminal, which is about, say, around $200 or so. Which the existing terminal right now for the credit card machine, we've been having issues with it, so we'd have to buy a new machine anyhow. So again, like you said, it simplifies it. We get the new machine, we can run everything off of Square. There's a little bit more thorough in-depth reporting out of it, and then we're able to, like you said, as we accumulate revenue based on that Square machine and how it can be deposited to the UMB bank with the rest of the other
general operating account.
So So I entertain a motion to move the Wells Fargo money to the CD once we get our.
What time frame are we looking at when we think we'll have this square all set
I
up?
think it's ordered.
I imagine we.
Within the month?
Within less than a month.
So you're looking at putting it in one bank or spread it out or what?
We have funds in Tipperary Federal, UMB Bank, that's a new one, Citizens and the credit union right now.
And I was thinking of a higher number, but I've kind of backed off that now just because I don't want to have to go back and do something else. But I think we could also safely move up to 500,000 in our general operating account to some CDs as well, which that would total, you're around 750,000. That's still going to leave us, 2.5+ million in our operating account. And so, there's, I guess what I'm saying is there's plenty, you could either put it at one or split some of that up as well.
Well, and I'm wondering, I don't know how we might need this in the future. It would be advantageous to have it split up in 2 or 3 at different times.
Yeah.
So our accessibility to it as we need it would be better than having it in one big
Yeah.
amount is one thing that I was thinking about.
And what about a money market? Putting some of it in a money market if it looks like something comes up, you may need it in the operating expense.
Yeah.
And then we're still subject to the $250,000 FDIC. So you don't want to get too much.
No, because we don't want that audit finding again that, this isn't
Yeah.
backed by the FDIC.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and, the Bank of Tucumcari, they have information in our packet about doing a CD ladder
Mhm.
to where, like we say, to stagger it to where you have one CD and then you don't have it all mature at the same time.
Mhm.
I like that idea also about it's
Okay. But we're not getting too close to the 250 limit.
So, this is getting out of my expertise. I can crunch numbers, but I don't know a lot about investing. I know what we have right now all meets that. I think because we have say Tucumcari Federal, it's broken up into 2 or 3 different ones. And so then it doesn't meet that, it doesn't go over that 250,000.
Well, just going back to my own personal experience, we've got 2 or 3 different accounts, and they tell us that it's the total.
Okay.
Is that right?
That's the way I understand it.
Yeah, it's the total. So I assume that it would still apply to, to a community college or a nonprofit.
But there's ways that the institution can take and guarantee it above that insurance limit too. But I think you have to ask for it and so forth.
So let me do a little more research on this and check into the money market question as well. I mean, we're not and I can get those answers fairly quickly, definitely by the December board meeting on that. So I would say on the agenda item with the CDs, hold off on that, or the moving money out of general operating, hold off on that. I think if you still wanted to do the Wells Fargo motion, you could still do that or wait, cause that's under the 250,000. Well, if you move it to a bank that we don't already have
Yeah.
anything for sure.
Right.
And I hate that. I should have went over that closer, but
What about, going forward with the Wells Fargo to the Bank of Tucumcari, because we do not have
We don't
funds
have
there.
anything there.
And then, table the one from the operating fund.
we do
I'll
that.
make that motion.
Okay.
Didn't repeat it, but I'll make it.
Did you get that, guy?
Mr. Sidwell made a motion.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Primrose,
Yes.
Mr. Box,
Yes,
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell.
Yes.
Okay, that'll take care of item 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Next is the approval of the FY 24 audit. Everybody have a chance to review the audit. It's similar to the year before. Cleaned up a few items, but we're still gonna have some until we get caught up. Is there any questions about the audit?
I move to approve the 24 audit.
I'll second.
We've got a motion and a second to approve the FY 24 audit. Roll call, please.
Mr. Primrose,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell,
Yes.
Mr. Box.
Yes,
All right. Next is HED quarterly financial report that we submitted.
So, Mr. Chair, this, kind of on our conversation about CDs, it's so nice not to be having to check that number 1 box saying request an advance of state subsidy. Instead, we're talking about putting money back in reserves. So this is a little shorter because I didn't have to write an explanation on why we were checking yes on number 1. But we still will need to continue submitting this to HED for the foreseeable future. I would say at least the next year or two.
Well, it's good that we don't have any checks with yes.
yes.
So it looks real good. I'm glad we've got all of that taken care of. And, so any questions on the financial report? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the financial report for HED.
I'll make a motion to report, to approve the quarterly financial action report.
Second.
Second.
Got a motion, a second? Roll call?
Mr. Box,
Yes,
Mr. Primrose,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell.
Yes.
Next is academic affairs, Mr. Kaiser.
Well, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. You have my academic affairs division report. And I just wanted to take a moment to introduce a new member of our academic affairs team. This is Miss Lori Pacheco. And she's our new academic affairs administrative assistant.
Hello, nice to meet all of you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lori.
I'll go back to work.
I can tell you, Lori's already making a major impact. She's keeping me to task, and I appreciate that. And she's really setting a wonderful structure in our academic affairs office, and she's front facing. So if you come visit us, you know, Lori will be there to help you guys and lead you in the right direction. So
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you
Thank
guys
you.
next
Thank you.
meeting.
thank you, Lori.
Bye-bye.
So it's a busy time of the semester. We have 4 actual, or 2 weeks, which would be on average 4 class meeting sessions left in the semester and finals week. And in the middle of this, we have a 1-week Thanksgiving break, which I'm very grateful for. But it breaks up the learning process. So we're all in full motion, trying to get the last of the content delivered, and I know our academic affairs teams, the staff and faculty are doing some amazing work, and that's some of the highlights I wanted to point out today. There were some additions to the back of this report, one specific for nursing, and I just wanted to take a moment and highlight an event today that the nursing faculty and Director Freeze are putting on, which is called Getting Ready to Graduate, happening right now in the Great Room. And this is one of those impacts for our students that give them the opportunity to connect to regional institutions. So there might be, you know, possibly getting the foot in the door, putting the face with the name with potential employers. There's also some vendors out there and some 4-year institutions that can facilitate transfers. So it's such a great opportunity for our nursing cohort. We also have, again, a whole series of events lined up. This last weekend, we had a belt buckle and spur building workshop hosted by alumnus Juan Martinez. Great workshop, which I participated in myself, and I nearly finished a full set of spurs. I'm not sure how they'll look on me with sneakers, or, you know, but a wealth of knowledge happening there, and the students that participated, I can't say enough about that instructor and what he brought to the lab. So very grateful for his time and how that supports the students in that process. The 2026 schedule is active, it's up. We're so excited to have it up and posted. And some things that we're seeing, of course, main campus classes, correction classes, and our workforce classes. And I wanted to take some time to highlight some of the work going on in the workforce division. And I believe that's on page 2 under workforce. And that's driven by Ms. Kim Enriquez, who's been doing a tremendous amount of work there. She's worked with our welding instructor, Mr. Brian Hughes, and he has, I believe it's a 12-week AWS cert that we're going to be able to launch starting in February. And we'll provide the AWS curriculum, prepare students to go do their actual weld test at a certified AWS site. So we're real excited about that. And again, that's a workforce certificate. They're working on figuring out what semis we're going to be looking at for our CDL program. So Ms. Enriquez has assembled an advisory committee. And of course, my input, I advocated for a Peterbilt, but you know, that's just my back and forth with those advisory members. So we're kind of going back and forth on that.
Can you look at some of these auctions that's going on?
Exactly. They're actually, they looked at a couple of auction sites and a state surplus site that has some semis. And I know we've been working with Mr. Martinez to look at the procurement side of that process. And there's a lot of good trucks that have some mileage on them, but I think they would be great for students to learn how to grind the gears on, or whatever our students. Hopefully they're not grinding gears on, but definitely a pathway. Our goal is to have a truck or 2 trucks, if possible, here before the end of the spring, because we really don't have a choice. We have to spend down those workforce funds, so that's what our team's looking at. And as soon as we've got a breakdown of the trucks and the pricing, we'll bring that to the board and have a look at as well. Other areas, of course, we have our ongoing CDL exams. For wind, I know our wind instructors have met with American Clean Power to discuss additional curriculum programming that is more specific to CTE dual credit programs, but that helps get the students in the front door in the pathway for wind. So a micro cert that leads to possibly an AAS degree, or which follows into some of the other certs that we have with our partnership with Impact Wind. So that's a big project we're working on there. And of course, I don't think it's listed on here, but the NNCD Correctional Wind cert, I know they're working on that as well to deploy sometime in the spring. And that's a little bit more of an investment there, because we got to work within certain restrictions at that correctional facility and make sure that we can get our equipment in and safely do that training. And those are specific to parolee inmates at Santa Rosa. That's where we'll be conducting that training. And of course, before we have that fully fleshed out, I'll brief the board on the how and why we're going to go through that. So that's workforce. Always some success areas in adult education. There's a lot of good work going on there. They're constantly completing high school equivalency. I think we had another completion earlier this week, and those are our future students, is what we see. And right now we have 14. Let's see, maybe we'll have 8 graduates as of November 11th, and the goal is to hit 20 plus. So that's really some great success there.
On that adult education, is ELL acronyms, is that the same as ESL?
Great question. So ELL is English language learner, and those are usually students that have never studied or spoken English. So you're helping them with the initial dialect, bringing them into, if I understand right, let's see, it would be, let's see if I got this right. Basic grammar, reading, writing, and understanding. And the difference in ESL is more specialized.
Yeah, English is a second language.
Exactly. And I believe here they have, on the ELL classes, I think they have 17. Yes, 17
Yeah, 17,
ELL
yeah.
at this time. And again, after those students go through that curriculum, and let's say they roll into the next level of that, it's preparing those students to take that high school equivalency exam, and then hopefully they become our students in some capacity after that as well for credit bearing or workforce classes. So a lot of great work that's being done over there.
Go back, the CDL, so we hear a lot about CDL, about some of these, people driving trucks that can't speak English or read or anything like that. So is there some kind of vetting process that we can avoid?
That's a great question. I think when we actually launch the true CDL instruction, and that will probably take place under what's called the IET program, Integrated Education and Training. So the entry point of that IET program that identifies those students that would not be able to do basic English writing skills, and they would have to complete a pathway prior to entering that, or it would prepare them, integrate those language skills in the training so that they're equipped. But you're right, and in certain circumstances in some states, you have to be able to read and write in English for your CDL. So.
That was a question I was gonna ask, cause the IET, but you answered it.
And with, there's a lot of acronyms out there, so this IET program, we started utilizing that last year with our CNA program, and it provides additional workforce funding, but you have to use a certain structured curriculum around that training, and it's teaching basic soft skills, it's teaching resume writing that's built into the CNA training at that time, and other life skills that's built into the curriculum. And were aspects of, especially with the CNA, those students, if they were ESL students coming into that CNA program, the first barrier they would have encountered would have been almost a medical terminology class, right? The basic understanding that terminology in the English language. So there's structure built around that curriculum that allows them to take ESL classes at the same time as their CNA class. And it's pretty challenging curriculum, and it's a challenge to balance it over there, but our teams have been really wonderful to help support those students in that pathway. And I think we had a cohort of the CNA, I think last semester was 8 students, and it was about 50% completion rate. And that's not bad considering, some of the students, they might get caught on some of the entry points and not make it through the entry point of that. But it's giving them the skills that prepare them to take that state exam for CNA is how the curriculum is built out.
Thank you.
And I would tag onto that. IET is one funding source. We also have Grow Workforce, and it took a tremendous amount of effort by Joel's staff, Ms. Enrico's dean, Mr. McVeigh's staff, on registering, are they workforce, are they IET, are they, and the business office and Ms. Arias, because you have to bill all those things different and make sure you're getting the right funding to the right students. And it was, I don't know that we're 100% worked out yet, but they really worked at trying to get that done, because we want to use as much of that funding as we can.
And what I can say about all these workforce funding pathways, our institution it seems like we're ahead of the game across the state in how we're able to package the full cost and build that around the actual program entry point and then filter it through our system. A lot of institutions, the academic house is completely separate from the workforce institution. So we've done well to merge the two together and work across our divisions and actually start these classes where a lot of institutions, they have the curriculum, they just can't figure out how to accept those funds and disseminate it, which our teams have been amazing to do so.
Great.
Let's see, other areas, I do have Dr. Axel Hungerbrewer here to speak a little bit about what's happening in paleontology and brief the board on that. Let me give Axel the floor here.
Thanks very much, Joe. I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't have brought a printout with me, so I hope I get it all together, but that's going to tell. Well, you will see it's kind of a substantial amount, and I only want to highlight 2 things, which I think is really important. The first is, and I need to give you some background for that, 2 years ago, I got a phone call from the director of the science department of Eastern New Mexico University, asking me whether Mesalands Dinosaur Museum would be willing to take some paleontological specimens they don't want anymore. I was willing to do so. I'm always happy to accept stuff for the museum. I wasn't really sure or didn't realize at that time what I'm getting myself into. It turned out ENMU is completely redoing their science building, so they have to clean it completely out. And it turned out there is actually quite a lot of fossils there. Now, ENMU has not done any teaching of paleontology in literally decades, so they wanted to get rid of that stuff and asked me or us, do we want to have it? Yes. Turned out what we got is 10 cabinets of fossils, that's the complete teaching collection, a substantial amount of Triassic vertebrates that were locally collected, and the odd piece here and there, actually some teaching models were also there. I didn't realize at the time what I'm getting myself into. Make it short, in the last 2 years, me and students in various classes or as internships, we're working our way through all that material. What is that now, actually? So we're getting very close to get an inventory of it. Turned out it's about 2,000 specimens what we have. And some really interesting things which I wouldn't expect to see in a standard teaching collection. For example, we found years and years, decades ago, ENMU must have collected here in New Mexico in Pennsylvanian aged rocks from very classical site. There is 2 or 3 drawers full of fossils from there, which I gladly accept for our systematic collection. And then there was really unexpected things like fossils which obviously come from University of Oklahoma, and I have no idea how they ended up in Portales. So anyway, we're kind of happy to have that. That greatly enhances our ability to teach there, because we have teaching specimens, but it literally triples and quadruples the simple amount. Now, the next is, of course, there's a lot of duplicates and a lot of stuff what you actually don't really need. So after we know now what we have, then we can start weeding out, distributing it elsewhere, perhaps even get rid of some of that stuff. So, and we're getting really close to something, and it was a long process. So that was the first thing. The other thing is, and that goes back to Joel Kaiser, who asked everybody in the faculty, so what do you intend to do with your students this semester? You need to have something that really do something with these guys. And I simply answered, well, I know one thing, what I really want to improve in my program is my students should have more field experience. So since this semester, every second weekend, I schedule a new field day, and actually we have been quite some success getting the students out. That is our strength. We do practical work. We're sitting right in the middle of the fossils, all geology. It would be a shame to do classroom teaching when you can do something what the big institutions cannot do, because they have nothing in their surroundings to look at. So that is the second thing what I've highlighted here. We've been quite successful, and I think it was a great experience for the students and lifted the morale substantially, I have to say. Of course, it's also some more work for the faculty, but can't have everything good without investing something. Thanks, I think I stop it here, so otherwise I'm going on too long. Thank you very much for listening to me, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Any questions for Dr. Axel?
I would just add, Dr. Hungerbuehler did a great job when we had the Science, Technology, Telecommunications Committee here on campus. Wynn, nursing, and Dr. Hungerbuehler talked about each of their programs, and he did a great job. And I think the legislators were amazed that we had this kind and quality of program at Mesalands, and I think that's attributable to him. So
I was there and listened to your presentation, very good.
Thank you very much. I thought I was a little bit too enthusiastic, but I didn't carry away sometimes.
Well, we appreciate all that you do.
Thanks so
so
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Axel, again for presenting, and I encourage you, if you haven't been by the Dinosaur Museum lately, go by and just take a moment to enjoy the space, take someone you love to go look at the rocks and specimens, and it makes for a wonderful afternoon. So definitely a unique resource for our institution. Other than what I've already presented and what's in the report, I'm finished. If there's any questions, I'll stand for those.
Any questions for Mr. Kaiser? Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, next is Student Services, Mr. McVeigh.
Oh, good evening,
Good evening.
Mr. Chair, members of the board. Just a few highlights from my report that I'd like to go over, if you will. We have our second disbursement was on November 11th, and so we completed that. Also, we have open application time right now as far as enrolling for the spring, so we're encouraging students for early enrollment to have that completed. Ms. Skinner and Ms. Gonzalez are currently at the New Mexico Association of Student Financial Aid Administrators mini conference, so they are attending that. As a matter of fact, Ms. Gonzalez will be joining us here in a moment to give the financial aid report from that conference that she is attending here at the time. So looking forward to that. We have correctional facilities registration is going to be beginning very soon. We've got the schedule out to them so that they can begin looking at that schedule to get signed up for the spring as well. We are continuing to look for a recruiter, so we continue to see if we can find a recruiter who would be suitable for a position, and we continue to look for that, as well as a receptionist also. Student life, we've had a great month in October, a lot of different activities, Hispanic heritage, and then tomorrow we have Native American Heritage celebration. Tomorrow you may want to come and attend that. We have a storyteller who's coming. She is going to be sharing with us about storytelling and history and the Native American tradition. They are from the Jemez Pueblo, and so we're excited to have them. Also at noon there will be Pueblo tacos. So they will be available at noon, and then the lecture begins at 1 p.m. So love to have y'all out. Invite you to attend that. Should be a great event. We actually have the high schools, Logan and Tucumcari High School, they're sending both their history classes, so we have a guaranteed around 50 students that should be coming on top of our own people. So we're excited about that. A lot of great activities that have been going on this last month. Also the marketing report, if you'll notice in our marketing, we have the website that is up. We had 2,400 new users come to our website. That was very exciting last month, for the month of October. That's new users that are looking at our website. Yvonne has been working very hard at our search engine optimization, also ensuring that Google ranks us high when we are being sought after when someone's looking for colleges in specific areas that fit our unique programs. So that's very good. Also 23% increase on our visits across our social media platforms. So 23% increase there as well. We continue to see month-to-month growth in this area, and we want to build on this momentum as we are moving forward. So we're excited about the new website. We have a few things that we need to work on there. There's some missing links that we're continuing to work on and work with Apogee, the company that's helping us with the website, to make sure that those links do link back to pages correctly. So we're getting those cleaned up, and then we're also ensuring that our metadata is being completed correctly as well, so that we are searchable. We leverage the Climb for Claws fundraiser that the radio station did. We actually brought in News Channel 10, and they did an article mentioning the college. So we were able to get some media attention through that as well. And we've also, again, working on different companies that help us with blogs and writing blogs and ensuring that we're out there and being viewed consistently. So a lot of really good things. Also, high school interactive presentations. These are days that faculty are scheduled to go out to the high schools and teach, and then have some interactive presentations with them. So the wind energy, for instance, faculty will be building a small replica of a turbine. They'll be able to share with the students about wind and energy and electricity. Also, in the fine arts area, we have those that faculty that will be teaching fine arts in their art classes. Things like that, opportunities that we have to integrate into the schools and let them know about the opportunities that we have at Mesalands. Again, a lot of great stuff going on, a lot of great opportunities ahead. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer anything that you have for me.
Any questions for Mr. McVeigh? Thank you very much.
All right,
Appreciate
thank you.
all that you do.
Thank you. I think next is Ms.
So Ms. Gonzalez will be here in a little bit for the,
Do you want her to present now?
we can wait until she comes in.
Well, she's available online.
Oh, she's on that. Oh, there she is.
She's
I've been here. I've been here.
patiently waiting for an opportunity.
I've been listening, patiently waiting.
You snuck up on me. All right, I'll turn it over to you. Lost the,
Lost
we
audio.
lost the sound.
Can you hear me now?
Now,
Yes.
yes.
All right. I apologize that I'm not there in person. I'm actually here on UNM campus in Albuquerque attending a conference like Josh mentioned earlier. It's been a great day full of activity and learning, so it's been great. But I am here to report our 24-25 annual financial aid report as I present to you each year. Reporting the 2024-2025 federal awards, that includes Pell Grants, direct loans, federal work study, veteran education benefits, SEOG, and AmeriCorps. It was totaled in the amount of $668,769. Forgive my counting of the numbers, it's not going to be very precise there. In state funding, we awarded $563,921. That includes SSIG, which is a state student incentive grant, lottery, state work study, DVR, opportunity scholarship. And then institutional funds, we awarded $74,569, which includes scholarships and work study, institutional matches for federal and state work studies. And then third party would be any type of private scholarships, tribal, private loans. We awarded $41,220 for a total of $1,348,479 in financial aid awards and assistance. Unduplicated students, that was 505 students, which of course includes our incarcerated students through NMCD. What I started doing last year was I also included a snapshot of our current year, and the numbers aren't precise, but at the time that I did this report, I had not updated our NMCD students opportunity grant, but we've already awarded almost $900,000. There is probably about 250 students that have benefited from financial aid already this year. But just to give you a figure, because our New Mexico corrections students are eligible for the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship, we have awarded 288 students over $207,000 already just this semester. So we look that we're going to increase our enrollment with NMCD in the spring with in-person advising, and which will also result in more financial aid awards. And attending this session here today, NMHED Financial Aid was here and presented, and we actually are awarding more New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship monies, dollars, than some of our peer institutions across the state and servicing more students. So it's really exciting when you start putting it in perspective of how we compare to our peer institutions. But that is the end of my report, and I stand for any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Gonzalez? I do like the fact that we're actually benefiting more students every year. That's really great.
Yeah, it correlates with our increased enrollment. Some of our micro-credential programs that are essentially financial aid eligible, or within the WIND program, and then other dollars as well. So it's exciting to see the growth again.
Any questions? I appreciate your report. It's very good. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
all
sir.
you do.
I'm going to jump off and jump back into the session, so I'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right.
Before Mark sets up, I've got the monitoring action plan. And Dr. Edwards wasn't here when Mr. Kaiser was presenting. Could we give him just a minute to talk a little bit about that plan and where it's going?
Sure. That'd be great.
Mr. Chairman, please the board. I don't have a formal thing put together today. I just wanted to talk briefly about what we're calling the MAP, the Monitoring Action Plan, which is all of the planned actions that we're going to take to ameliorate the recommendations that HLC gave us from their visit in September. We've also laid out what specific steps we're going to take, what parties are responsible for what steps, and when we want to have those actions completed by. A lot of this, as you might imagine, is to do with financial reporting and things like that. But all of the recommendations are laid out in the map for you. The executive team has had the opportunity to take a look at it and contribute to it, and so now this doesn't need board action, I don't think, but we are providing this to you in order to keep you in the loop as to what recommendations HLC gave us, what steps we're taking to address the concerns that they gave us, so that when February 2028 rolls around, we'll be able to slide completely off of monitoring, and we'll be free and clear of any any HLC things in our closet. So those are this is what we've got all set up. Like I said, I don't have anything formal beyond that. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to address them.
Any questions for Dr. Edwards? I looked at all that. It looks like it's still a lot of work to do, but
there's still a lot to do.
We've accomplished a great deal.
Yeah, we're very pleased with how far we've come. I want to reiterate that HLC was very complimentary of the steps that we have taken, and we're thrilled with the reception that they got while they were here on campus, and all of the hard work and steps that we've already taken. These are still additional steps, and some of these are, you need to complete step A to get to step C, and you need to complete step C to get to step F. So we can't address all these all at once, nor should we try to, but these are what we're going to be focusing on bit by bit, month by month, over the next 25, 26 months or so, in order to not just get off probation, which is what we're hoping in February, but then completely get off monitoring by 2028.
Are there any other questions? No. Thank you very much. Appreciate your report.
Okay, thank you.
Now we'll go to Mr. Martinez.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'd like to start with an update on the insurance. So we've been going back and forth with the insurance for quite some time to get the claim originally from 2023, get this situated, but there has been some movement. So I'm happy to announce I was able to speak with the engineering company that's assigned to the project, and they were able to let me know originally at the time of this report it was going to be a pre-bid, which means they would have brought multiple contractors on site, they would have looked at the scope of work and try to bid it out. Thankfully, we're able to streamline that and continue to move forward with a contractor that we're familiar with. They'd be the same contractor that had completed the roof on Building E, the wind energy building. They did a great job, J3. So as of today, the gentleman and I had a conversation that they have now been provided the scope of work as well as the engineered plans and drawings, and they'll be submitting their quotes, and once that's approved by the insurance, we'll be able to get moving forward with the construction side of that, and that's for Building A and Building G. A is the main building and G is this building. I also wanted to give an update on some work being conducted in the library. So initially, I can't remember if it was brought up at the previous board meeting or within another meeting. That there's so many meetings I can't remember where I've talked about what specific projects, but there were some concerns in the library how some of the work was being conducted. They did start. They had to peel back some wallpaper from some existing plywood. But with anything that consists of a change order, a scope of work, they didn't originally plan on doing that, and I believe they started to put sheetrock on top of the plywood. I'm awaiting to speak to the main project manager for that overall project for the library there. They're also the main contractor that's providing the work for the wind energy building as well. Unfortunately, the gentleman is out of the office until next week, so myself and Mr. Bobbitt, our director of facilities, has been in contact with them to make sure that everything is done the way it should be, professionally, in a clean work environment. There's also some concerns on the cleanliness of the area, but we continue to work on that. And the main goal is to try to get the best quality of work in a quick, efficient manner without disturbing the students and keeping the work environment clean. I also wanted to touch base on the rodeo truck. This is something that we've been talking about for some time as well. The new claim was approved and the rodeo truck's actually in the shop as we speak. They expect to be done by the end of the week. I hope that is the case. But the claim was approved. Everything's moving forward smoothly now, which we're happy. And we should be able to save some money by only having to pay our deductible instead of more money on top of that for the additional damage that happened during the time of those storm events. Other capital projects, the LFC, some of the staff was requesting follow-up quotes from our original trip to where was it at this year? I get mixed up. I guess last year was Hobbs, this year was Roswell, I believe.
Somewhere south of here.
It was Roswell.
Hobbs or Roswell, somewhere.
We went ahead and we were able to provide them with the itemized quote for the repower of the wind turbine, as well as the quote for the heating and cooling improvements to the art building. Those two projects have been recommended by HED and will go before this year's legislative session in hopes to get both of those funded. And as explained at a previous meeting, it's a GEO bond funded year. Therefore, it's an extensive process. If it makes it through the legislative session, then they have to go to the election in November to make sure the bond actually passed. And if that's the case, then they sell the bonds, and we anticipate the funds, if approved, to hit somewhere around fall of 2027. With that, I also had a meeting, speaking of pre-planning and getting some capital projects moving forward, as well as some energy efficiency and compliance. Myself and Director Bobbitt today was able to meet with a subcontractor of XL Energy. Originally, it was just kind of talking about a rebate program where we were talking about how we've been swapping out a lot of these old fluorescent light bulbs with LEDs, the new HVAC systems. If those all meet the criteria for XL, would be eligible for rebates. But something I wasn't aware of that I was actually happy to participate in is some energy efficiency
type reporting and studies and plans that would be free of charge. So I've already received the email. We'll be working closely with them. The company is called Clear Result, and what they're able to do is go on campus and provide a report of where we're at now, the way that things stand, and what we can do to be a little bit more energy compliant. With that, they also provide some free services, absolutely no cost to the college. Minimal things to putting some aerators on water faucets to reduce waste on water, putting some weather stripping threshold underneath our big roll-up garage doors. So there's a lot of different opportunities and options. It was a very good meeting, so I look forward to working with them at Clear Results to provide these reports. And those also help support our cause when we go submit our ICIP, our Infrastructure Capital Improvement Plan. That's something that they asked was an energy report conducted of some sort. So now, instead of saying no, we'll be able to say yes. So I'm happy to see that, and the best part is free. They had me at free once they said there's no cost to the college. I said, send me the information, let's look into this and get this thing going. Another thing that's busy, a lot of meetings going on. Mr. Bobbitt's also attending the hazard mitigation planning meeting at the convention center today at 3 o'clock. And that helps. It's just the entire county. I want to say it's every 4 or 5 years they have to update that hazard mitigation plan. And I just want to make sure that Mesalands was represented and we were able to contribute and say what we needed to during those meetings. In the business office and auxiliary services, business office has been busy gathering information for the FY25 audit. Now that the 24 is closed, we're able to put that behind us and move forward in an effort to try to get this 25 audit completed as soon as possible. So everybody's been diligently working on that. Also wanted to highlight the Dinosaur Museum. October was another great month. September exceeded the numbers from last year by quite a bit, and October has done the same, visitations up as well as revenue at the gift shop. So I'd like to thank Miss Monahan for all of her hard work at the Dinosaur Museum. She has 2 new exhibits up, so get down to the Dinosaur Museum and check that out. We're also advertising for our vacant position for the financial specialist in the business office. That's going to be cashier heavy with some cross training in accounts receivable and accounts payable as well. And then we've also signed an additional lease agreement with Impact Wind to utilize the Armory, also known as Building R, for office space and storage. So we have some of these vacant rooms that weren't being utilized, and it fits the purpose that they're looking for, so that helps us occupy the building, make a little bit more revenue to put back into the infrastructure, with hopes of getting the Armory turned back into more student facing in the future. But until that time, since they're just vacant space, it's nice to be able to occupy it. As the time of this report was submitted, the PO for the scissor lift was created and forwarded to the vendor, and we were awaiting them to order the scissor lift. I'm happy to announce as well on that that's moving forward. It's been ordered, and their expectation of delivery is somewhere around 3 to 4 weeks. And then last but not least, I think we're doing a pretty good job of rebuilding and filling some of these vacant positions that we've had for a little bit. So we're fortunate enough to be able to fill the 2 vacant positions in our IT department. We're now at full staff. So I'd like to welcome Mr. Jimmy Segura and Quentin Tejerina to the team here at Mesalands, and I think they'll be a great addition. They bring some knowledge and experience. Mr. Segura specifically on the installation and hardware side of things, which is great. If all goes well and we receive that 116 or so thousand for additional security cameras and whatnot, that expertise will be very well appreciated. And then Mr. Tejerina has experience on the software side, and we look forward to getting them some training and some specific training towards Janzibar. And with that, I'll conclude my report and stand for any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Martinez? All right, thank you very much. Appreciate all you do. Faculty Senate, they haven't met yet. You have the staff, excuse me, Mr. Garcia's not here, but you have his report. Jimmy. Next would be trustees' comments. Any comments from the trustees? If not, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
I shall move, we go into executive session.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Go into executive session. Roll call, please.
Mr. Primrose,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson, Mr. Sidwell,
Yes.
Mr. Box.
Yes.
Session?
Make a motion that we reconvene from the special session, executive session.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Primrose,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell,
Yes.
Mr. Box.
Yes.
There was no action taken in executive session. There was no correspondence. Fall break, November 24th through the 27th. NMERC, December 1st. I think Mr. Lafferty and a bunch of
I think you and Mr. Box said you guys wanted to
will
go.
go. So
And I think Mr. McVeigh, I'm not sure Mr. Kaiser and Mr. Martinez. So those three will be going too, so.
get that together. Nursing graduation is December 13th. Legislative forum we've all talked about. semester break December 19th through the 5th. Clay Days 21st. And our next meeting is the 16th. Hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving. Next week, y'all are all well for the whole week, right? For Thanksgiving is fall break. And ACCT training, I've looked at it, but I think I'm gonna wait until, kind of put a halt on that until HED and our new board members are present. So that's all I have. If they're not, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So made.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Primrose?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sewell?
Yes.
Mr. Fox?
Yes.